Okay, Broncos country, looks like we are live, but you guys know the drill by now. We got to let the stream breathe for just a second here and make sure that everything is nice and stable all across the YouTube platform. We are here, Broncos country. After 8 long, painful years, we are finally back in the playoffs, Broncos country. The Denver Broncos are set to take on the Buffalo Bills in the wild card round in just about 30 minutes. And we are here to do a very brief pregame show. We're a little bit late getting started in the day, so we'll probably keep this pregame show only to about 10 to 15 minutes or so. We've already got Ethan Dermeyer in the house saying hype, 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 just like every single other member of Broncos country is. This is a very massive game. That doesn't even need to be stated. This is the biggest Broncos game since Super Bowl 50. This is a chance to get some really valuable playoff experience, win or lose, against a championship contender in the Buffalo Bills. And this Denver Broncos team is actually built to go into Buffalo and challenge this Bills team and maybe come away with a win. We got Dylan Earl in the house. Good to see you, Dylan, saying no penalties. That is towards the top of my list in the keys to victory. Stay ahead of the chains. Do not shoot yourself in the foot. No pre-snap penalties on offense. Don't jump off sides on defense. No cheap pass interference penalties. Don't give the refs any reason to throw the flag. So that's going to be one of the bigger keys to victory in this game. Ethan says, Tyler Bidet as RB3. You think he plays some snaps? Actually, Sean Payton said that he plans to feature Tyler Bidet pretty heavily. That was tweeted out by Tracy Wolfson, the pregame reporter on the sideline for CBS Sports. Excuse me. So, in fact, Audric Estime is inactive for this game. So we're going to see a pretty healthy dose of Tyler Bidet. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he actually gets the start in this game. Jaleel McLaughlin will probably still get the lion's share of the carries, and then they'll sprinkle in Javonte on the third down in short yardage situations like they've been sprinkling him in from the beginning. But yeah, I think this might be Tyler Bidet's time to really put out some good film. We got DG in the house saying, yo, Gage, let's be a hard out and win this shiz. Absolutely. Excuse me. That bong rip I took this morning is coming back to haunt me. Let's go, Broncos. Great season, no matter what the outcome. Very proud of this team. And this offseason is going to be exciting to see what they put together around Bo during free agency and the draft. Absolutely. The fact is, this Denver Broncos team is only getting started. They have the opportunity to continue to build off of the momentum that they have gained this season. They have the ability to fill some of the last holes that they have on their roster, the tight end position, the linebacker position. Those are the two positions that come to mind. Maybe some more depth at receiver. Running back, that's another position to look at, making some big additions this offseason. But once the Denver Broncos fill those last holes on their roster, they are going to be a dangerous unit. David says, Estime is out. Yes, he is out because, again, Tyler Bidet is set to feature a really big role in this game. Ethan really likes that idea. He says he's the best running back, in my opinion. I do think that Jaleel McLaughlin has shown some really positive stuff over these last few weeks, and I do think that he is still going to get the lion's share of the carries, but I do agree that it is going to be a really, really awesome day. I do think that Tyler Bidet is going to be featured pretty heavily. Sutton will be good, Dylan Earl says. That's going to be another one of my big keys to victory in this one. Feed Sutton early and often, because when you get Bo Nix into a rhythm, you'll get Cortland Sutton into a rhythm, and they kind of feed off of each other. So by getting Sutton in a rhythm early, you will also get Bo Nix in a rhythm, and that will spell good news for this offense. This Buffalo Bills pass defense is a little bit suspect. We broke that down in depth in our pregame preview yesterday, but I do feel like this Denver Broncos team is going to have the opportunity to be able to spread the ball around in the passing game. They play a lot of cover 2, a lot of quarters coverage, and a lot of quarter half coverage or cover 6. So what that means is it's going to be a lot of split safety coverage, a lot of 2-high coverage where the middle of the field is going to be open. That's where you can attack those seam shots down the middle with guys like Marvin Mims. You think about that touchdown that he had against the Cleveland Browns. That was just a seam shot down the middle for an explosive play. You could also attack deep posts. I'm really thinking that this could be a Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin type of game in order to get some of those deep shots and explosive plays. We've got Kim in the house, as always. Good to see you, Kim. Hope you are doing well. Dylan says our defense will be putting pressure on Josh Allen, and that's going to be another key to victory in this game. Generate pressure on Josh, especially with a four-man rush, and ideally that pressure is going to come from the interior. Zach Allen, John Franklin Myers, DJ Jones, Malcolm Roach. I'm looking at all of those guys to be able to collapse the pocket and then have the edge rushers, Nick Benito, Jonathan Cooper, Jonah Ellis, even Dondre Tillman sprinkled in there. Have those guys play contain on the outside. That way, when the interior collapses the pocket, Josh can't escape out the back door and make a big play outside of the pocket, because we all know that he is very capable of doing that. So collapse the pocket on the interior and keep contain on the edges. That way, Josh has nowhere to go. Your best bet in this game is to be able to generate pressure with a four-man rush. Josh Allen is really good at beating the blitz. Against the blitz this year, he's got a 62.7% completion, 1,332 yards, 16 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions, 12 big-time throws, and just 1 turnover-worthy play. So Josh Allen doesn't put the ball in harm's way when you blitz. When he's under pressure with just a four-man rush, though, he's got a 41.9% completion, 919 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 17 big-time throws, and 10 turnover-worthy plays. So that just goes to show that if you want to get pressure on Josh Allen, it has to be with a four-man rush. Jeff saying we need running game and tight end production, and the Broncos are hoping they will get some resemblance of a run game with Tyler Bidet, with Jaleel McLaughlin. They will occasionally sprinkle in Javonte, but Javonte is the clear-cut RB3 at this point. He's the new Samaje Perine. He's the third down, pass-catching, and pass-protecting running back, and that's basically Javonte's role now. As far as the tight end position is concerned, you're lucky to get whatever you get out of that any given week. It's so volatile for the Denver Broncos that I feel like the entire room's going to be gutted this offseason anyway. So you're going to be lucky if you get some production out of the tight end position. I'm looking more towards the running back position. Maverick says, no matter what happens this game, we're already beyond exceeded expectations. My 6-11 prediction continues to look dumber and dumber by the day. Hey, man, I see why that 6-11 prediction was made, because this roster had a lot of question marks, but after training camp, that's when I was a lot more confident to give this team more wins. I initially entered the season before training camp at 8-9, and coming out of training camp after I saw what potential this team had, I changed my prediction all the way up to 11-6, and I was a little bit too generous with that prediction. But I saw what this team was capable of, and I knew that they were going to win a lot more than what they're projected to win. See Drew Sanders production? We could. They've been getting him some more snaps at off-ball linebacker. He filled in mop-up duty in the Kansas City game, so we might see Drew Sanders a little bit in this one. D-Rock says, Mile High Maniacs, it's time. Let's go. If we win the turnover battle, we will win. That's generally true in almost any NFL game. If you win the turnover battle, you will win the game. Josh Allen historically has had the propensity to turn the ball over. He's gotten a lot better with that area of his game this year. He's not turning the ball over as much. But if there is an opportunity for the old Josh Allen to make an appearance and kind of put the ball in harm's way a little bit, it is this game, because this Denver Broncos team is so good at forcing turnovers on defense. Bringing pressure on Josh Allen and making him uncomfortable in the pocket is what's ultimately going to lead to turnovers. So if you can generate pressure, that's going to spook Josh Allen, and that will lead to some of those turnovers that you guys are describing. Nick Benito and Jonathan Cooper are important, but I really think Zach Allen and John Franklin Myers is the key to keeping Josh contained. Josh loves to climb the pocket. He does, but he also likes to get outside the pocket when you do collapse the interior. So I do agree that it's going to be big for Zach Allen, John Franklin Myers, DJ Jones, Malcolm Roach to be able to collapse the pocket. But you also need to make sure that he doesn't have an escape route out the back door. So you want to keep Benito and Cooper on contain in order to not have Josh outside the pocket. Only 14 sacks for Josh Allen this year. That's less than 1 a game. And that speaks to that very stat where Josh is able to get out of would-be sacks and escape out the back door and find a big play downfield, either with his arm or with his legs. So that's going to be key. Josh Allen is literally the hardest quarterback in the NFL to sack. So you're going to have to find a way to bring pressure with a 4-man rush and keep him contained in the pocket. Absolutely. Turnovers lead to victory. Kim, Maverick, and chat, we're in for a dogfight today, but we're ready. Absolutely. Our defense has been good for the most part. Don't let all that hard work today. I'm not sure exactly what we're trying to say there completely, but yeah, definitely. You don't want to let all that hard work go to waste. I'm assuming that's what we're trying to get at there, but yeah, for sure. This team has put together a really impressive resume on defense. Good quarterbacks have picked them apart, though. Justin Herbert twice. Joe Burrow picked him apart. Patrick Mahomes, he was probably the best quarterback who had the worst day against the Broncos defense. Lamar Jackson, who is probably the most similar test to what you're going to get to Josh Allen, although they're not exactly the same player. That's probably the closest you're going to get to Josh Allen is Lamar Jackson, and Lamar completely carved this defense apart. So this defense is going to have to play fundamental, sound, disciplined football. You said in yesterday's preview that these past few playoffs for the Bills have mostly been on their defense. Utilize offense when weak defense is shown. Absolutely. This is going to have to be a game where Bo Nix and company take advantage of defensive mistakes that the Buffalo Bills may make. This Buffalo Bills defense has been kind of faltering over this past month, and pretty much every single year in the playoffs, that has been their big bugaboo is defense. Josh Allen has played elite in the playoffs, but defensively, they have really struggled, and so if they do show some of those struggles, then Denver's going to have to capitalize. We got Gabe saying, we don't have a tough inside runner now. I like Bidet, but this is risky to sit Estime. Well, I do agree. The Broncos haven't been really leaning on the inside power run game. It's more been the more quick, explosive up-the-middle stuff with their guys like Jaleel McLaughlin, who are just more quick, speedy runners. It hasn't really been a power run game. I can understand why in a game like this, especially in a cold environment, you might want to do that. And who knows, maybe at this point they're rolling the dice with Javonte Williams. I don't necessarily agree with that strategy, but we'll see what Sean Payton dials up here. And remember, we're still going to see a heavy dose of the screen game and the swing passes. So we're still going to see that extension of the run game through the pass game. We already got that one. I do not think Pat Surtain needs to shadow Amari Cooper. Coop isn't the same receiver that he once was. Riley Moss can cover him. Even Chris Abrams-Drain could get some man coverage on Coop. I do think that Pat Surtain is not going to travel. I think that they're going to keep him on one side like they normally do, and I do believe that that's just going to be the game plan that the Denver Broncos stick with. We talked about in the game preview video yesterday that because of all of the players that the Buffalo Bills have, they literally have 9 players with over 200 receiving yards this year. Denver might not be able to play as much man coverage. They might have to drop back and play zone. But if they do drop back and play zone, they're going to have to still find a way to be able to generate pressure out of zone coverage. Drop a defensive lineman in coverage and blitz the nickel. That's one way to only rush 4 players, still play zone on the back end, and generate pressure. If you give Josh Allen time in the pocket to sit back there and passively pick you apart, then that's exactly what he's going to do. But if you find a way to play zone coverage on the back end, but still generate pressure up front, that is going to be huge for this game. Phantom says, in my opinion, we need to shut down the Bills' run game as soon as possible. That's going to be another big key. James Cook is obviously a dynamic runner for this Bills team, so that is going to be another big key for sure. All right, guys, we are approaching the 15-minute mark here, so we're going to go ahead and wind down this stream here. We got Kim saying, even if we lose today, lots to be proud of this season, and players are being recognized. Absolutely. We've got guys being recognized for All-Pro and Pro Bowl. Yes, we will be live streaming during the game, and I can see my internet's faulting, so I've got to go ahead and get my mobile hotspot ready to go. Let me know, guys, what is your score prediction for this game in the comment section below? I believe that the Denver Broncos are going to actually take this all the way to overtime. It'll be tied 21-21 at the end of regulation. Denver will lose the toss and they'll get the ball first. They'll go down, score a touchdown, score a 2-point conversion. Then the Bills will get the ball back and they'll respond with a touchdown, but they can only tie it with a 2-point conversion. So then after that, it'll become sudden death in overtime, and Denver is going to march downfield, and they are going to kick the game-winning field goal with Will Lutz. I got Denver winning 32-29, mother. So, yeah, man, I know it might not be the most realistic possibility, but with the way this Denver Broncos team has been playing, I think they have a chance to go in there and shock the world. We've got 34-28 Denver, 17-16 Bills. We've got 35-24 Bills. We got 28-21 Bills, 27-24 Bills, 34-21 Denver Broncos. So I think we all agree that it's not going to be a blowout. Denver's going to go in there and put out a really good fight no matter what. But I thought I had to get a little spicy with my prediction because why not? Yep, wild prediction. Absolutely. 27-24 Broncos. All right, guys. Be sure to leave a like on the stream as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. Helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. We will be going live in just a few minutes for the game stream. Got to go get that set up. And until then, guys, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.